everyone, it's Laurie from Quick Scrap Craft. Welcome back to the channel. Today it's time to get messy because it is the monthly Mix It Up Monday hop. So every month, Kimberly from I'd Rather Be Scrapbooking and Anna from Peacecraft Love host this mixed media challenge. They pick a sketch and then everybody who wants to participate takes that sketch and gives it like a mixed media spin. So everybody else who's playing along is going to be in the description box below, so check them out. I am taking this beautiful sketch from Rochelle Spears, who is the owner of the Scrap Room, which is another great source of inspiration in scrapbook products. I love her sketches. I love playing along with her monthly sketches, and this is one that I definitely want to do again in a 12 by 12 size. But for today's layout, I'm actually doing a full page 6 by 8 for my December daily album. Probably should have cut that white piece of cardstock to 6 by 8 size before I started the mixed media, but I didn't because my brain wasn't working properly. So instead, I don't know what size that was, but I just took some of my my red Tim Holtz Distress Oxide spray and did the packaging technique just to create my own pattern paper background. I just thought that would be something different than using some of the Christmas pattern paper that was in my stash. And I have a lot of it because if you remember from a couple months ago, I showed a Michael's haul that I did, and I got a whole big giant paper pad of Christmas papers. And then also, the Chamel Best of Both Worlds kit, I got Christmas papers and Christmas embellishments and all that sort of thing. So I do have enough pattern paper, but maybe you're in the boat where you don't have a lot of Christmas pattern paper and you're working on a Christmas layout, or you just don't have the right pattern paper that is going to fit with what you're trying to do. Maybe you're in the no spend year, right? And you're trying not to buy any scrapbook supplies. But if you have Distress Oxide sprays or inks or what have you, any kind of misting spray, and you have some white cardstock, you can totally make your own background. Unfortunately, as always happens with mixed media, it does get covered up a little bit much. But I really, really, really wanted to mimic the layering that's happening in that sketch. So I actually took some of the packaging from the Pink Fresh embellishments because it has this really pretty rainbow stripe going on. And I'm going to layer on top of that some pink on pink heart patterned doodlebug paper. I loved in the corner, the bottom corner there, that it looks like there are some other pattern papers kind of peeking out from behind the stack of photos. So I'm using these Pink Fresh tickets to take the place of those things. And when I'm kind of like laying this out, I was going to keep everything, on the left-hand side, and then as I start to work with it, I realize I don't like it. I don't like it on the left-hand side. So I'm keeping the sketch up in the corner so that you guys can see what the original sketch was, and then you're going to be like, "Oh, really? You scrap lifted that sketch?" And that's okay because I was obviously inspired by number one, all the layering, number two, the little things peeking out from the photos, and that's kind of probably where the similarities end. Obviously the size is different too, and my photos, I don't have 4 photos, I only have 2, and they're 3 by 4. I think I kept them at 3 by 4. I'm not sure if I cut them down smaller than that. I could have cut them down a little bit smaller, but I wanted to get as much of some of the background in there, because these are photos from a cookie party that we tried to host, but the other kids got sick, so it ended up just being my daughter making Christmas sugar cookies by herself. So I decided that I would add these to our December daily as opposed to doing a larger layout in our regular album. I mean, I could have probably, if we had actually had a cookie party and had people over, I would have had more photos, and I could have done a whole big spread in the regular album and then just like chosen one photo or something for the December daily, but that's not the way it worked out this year, and that's fine. So I'm just going to ink the edges of everything because I want it all to stand out against the background, because the white cardstock is, still part of the background, even though you can see some of that misting spray there. The color of that is, I'm seeing if I can like reach for it real quick. I probably can't. Maybe it's this one, blindly looking. Yes, it's called Festive Berries. And Yes, it does kind of look like blood splatter, but let's just, because it's with a Christmassy layout on there, other red things, I think it's okay. But I don't know. I don't know that I would like do splatters with it. The packaging technique at least gives it, I don't know, makes it look on purpose. But just be careful. Just be careful when you use red misting spray, okay? Maybe good for like a Halloween layout. Okay. So here you can see that I've sort of flipped the sketch. So my photos are now on the right-hand side with the papers layered up, and then the little tickets are peeking out from the left-hand side. And probably the hardest part of this was just trying to stick everything down and get it like exactly in the right placement that I wanted it to. It's such a small size, and I really wanted all those layers, but I also didn't want it to be like too overwhelming on a 6x8. So yeah, there's a lot of things to take into consideration when you're cutting something down from a 12x12 to a smaller page size. I'm curious that if you guys did a December daily, or if you're still working on doing your December daily, what size you chose to do for that. If you keep it in your normal size, or if you change it up a little bit since this is a different type of album for you. Let me know in the comments below. So again, I am obsessed with the paper layering, and so I took another one of those pattern papers there, and I just like added it in, just because I felt like it needed a little something extra. Because there are so many layers of paper, it is kind of starts to get difficult to get everything to like stick down flat. So like that photo there, it almost is like coming up at the edge at the top because there are so many layers underneath it. And I'm like, no, stick down, be flat, blah. But again, just things to keep in mind. You can always get some pop dots, which I'm going to do for that little peppermint wheel thingy. I'm going to pop that up on some foam dots and then stick that word sticker on top. Half of it's going to be on the little peppermint swirly thingy, and then the other half is going to be pop dotted up off on the side, so that you get some dimension that's going on over there, and it's a nice filler for the space that's kind of in between those two photos. I just added in another ticket because I felt like there just needed to be a little, again, extra piece of layering going on there. Yeah. And these are all these smaller pieces of paper that I have. You can see I pulled a whole bunch of them from my Christmas stash. They're all just leftover scrap bits, which I think are so perfect for doing these smaller type of layouts, the pocket page style layouts, and using up your stash. The title is called Hustle and Bustle, not because it really has anything to do with the photos. I mean, it could. We were hustling to get the cookie dough made, and then the party got canceled. I don't know, or hustling to cut them out, and then you sit and you wait for the cookies to bake. That's what the bottom photo is. My kid sitting in front of the oven waiting for the cookies. But I also chose the title more so just because it was a pre-made title. And I wanted to use up some of those American Crafts pre-made titles that I already had. So it just seemed to fit. So I'm just kind of looking through everything else to make sure I haven't missed anything. I'm adding another little pink fresh flower embellishment up there at the top. And then I'm going to add a journaling spot to kind of round out the embellishment cluster where that popped up peppermint swirl thingy is. And that's where I'm going to do my journaling. And of course, I was cutting the double-sided tape in half, and I couldn't find where the other half of it went. But I found it. Yay! Something else that I will say about this is, what was I going to say? I don't remember, but it's almost getting to the end. Oh, so I didn't do a whole lot of like crazy mixed media on here. I did my own background, but in just a second, I am going to add some Black Nouveau drops. Doing a couple like dots in threes. I like to keep things in, the rule of threes, especially with the Nouveau drops. So I'm just going to do a couple like horizontal, vertical lines, building out that embellishment cluster with the peppermint swirl with the Nouveau drops. Make sure that you let them dry first. That should be like your last step, is doing the Nouveau drops so you don't smear them. I'm just gonna, I know from experience, so please listen to me. And that's pretty much going to do it for today's layout. Like I said before, this is the Mix It Up Monday hop, so make sure you follow and hop along with all the other people who are participating. They're down in the description box below. If you would like to participate, Peacecraft Love has a Facebook group where you can be notified of when the new sketch and everything goes live. And you can also check her out on her website, and all that will be linked below as well. I hope this was inspiring for you guys. See, I'm not following my own rules. Let the Nuvo drops dry. Do them last. I'm a crazy person. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about the products that I used or the techniques that I did, or if you just want to say hi. I love having you here, and thanks for subscribing. I'll see you next time.